everybody, John here at PT and
Dan with Sandler.
Dan with Sam.
Hey,
So let's talk about habits. Obviously, we all try and form good, better
hopefully.
habits. There's a great book out there about atomic
Yes.
habits. If you haven't read it, pick it up. But I was reading a piece that was talking about pre-commitment to habit change. And basically it was saying if you're going into a scenario where maybe your habits are poor, whether it's your attention span, whether it's getting through a topic or a piece or a meeting and those kinds of things, he talked about pre-commitment. And they said, hey, but before you go into a scenario where bad habits might become in play, pre-commit to what you're going to do. And it changed everything rather than just going in and figuring it out kind of along the way. And it got me thinking about salespeople. We have bad habits in various ways. And one of mine is if something doesn't interest me out of the gate, I have a hard time sticking through. And so if I really want to stick through something that's new, I got to go into it with that, hey, whatever you hear up front, temper it, get through the whole process before you make a determination. Because I knee-jerk a lot of things.
Yeah.
So can you talk about some of the habits that salespeople struggle with and how that pre-commitment mentality can help?
The main habit that salespeople struggle with is work.
Doing.
I'm just being
working.
honest. Right.
Yes.
Because we have this fear of rejection and this fear of whatever.
Yep.
And so we do things that are more comfortable to us. In fact, I would say most of the habits we have right now, personally and work, are habits that we're just comfortable with.
Yeah.
When you look at changing habits, those are not ones you're comfortable with. And the human spirit typically doesn't want to do that.
Sure.
So you have to set some traps for yourself on how in the world do you do that. So I'll give you a really lame example, but it drives the point home. It's on the personal side. So I have a billiard table at home, and I'm average. My one son, he's 23 years old. He's really good. And before he left for Brazil, he and I played 6 games, and he cleaned my clock on all 6 games, right? So I said, hey, I'm going to be practicing while you're gone. And when you come back,
get ready.
Dad's turn, right? Up until a week ago, I had not practiced. Now he comes back mid-December.
So you're saying you have a procrastination problem?
I do. And part of it is because I'm not used to spending time practicing.
Yeah.
So here's what I decided to do. I said to him on the phone, hey, by the way, Ben, I'm going to clean your clock when you get home on billiards. He goes, I hope you've been practicing. And I said, I hope so too. And then after we hung up the phone, I said, am I a man of my word? I said I'm going to clean his clock. I know. Start practicing. Start doing it. Start working on it. And I have started doing it because now there's a bingo, John. There's a deadline.
Yes.
There's a time when he's coming home and I have to show myself. In sales, are you giving yourselves deadlines? Are you saying, I want to achieve a certain amount of sales by this date? Or are you, it'd be nice to make 100,000. It'd be nice to make 50,000. It'd be nice to make $500,000, but you don't put a date next to it. That's just a dream.
Yeah.
So start putting some teeth into the things that you want to accomplish. If you want to lose weight, tell your closest friends or your spouse, I want to lose X amount of money by this date. Not
X amount of money.
I mean, sorry, I want to.
Okay, X amount.
You
of
get
money.
it, right? But it's kind of like, don't just say I want to lose 50 pounds.
Yeah.
By when?
It's too vague. Won't happen. Sure. Yeah, and I think the other thing is salespeople, we play a lot of games with ourselves on things like that. Hey, I got to do 20 of these before I can do that. I mean, it's a mind game we play because it's a tough job, and it's difficult just to have that stickiness to it.
Yes.
And a lot of salespeople, we don't have good attention spans. We just don't. In our family, called squirrel moments. Squirrel, and we're off to that, and it's very easy for us to stray.
Well, and it's easy for us to stray because we want to stray.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely. All right, guys. Pre-commitment, break the habits.
All right. Take care.
See you tomorrow.